Oh, oh. Good evening, lovely person. Please make yourself known. Hello, good evening. Where's our chat so I can see who's here? Oh, it's a good day today, ladies. It's a really good day. I'm actually just going to go and, oh, I love that song. I'm going to post some really uprising woman invoking woman embodiment songs in our group, because some of these beautiful songs that I've been finding today, because as you know, I am a circle leader in training. I am training to lead women's circles to really empower connection, love, honesty, communication, trust, and all those gorgeous, beautiful things that we want in our life, but no one ever taught us how to do. And so we find our own way. But sister circles are a great way. Gracie, can you close those doors, please? It's very cold. Sorry. Sister circles are a great way of really fully embodying who you are, standing in your womanhood, standing in your power, being absolutely amazing. So, actually, let me just hello. Good evening, beautiful Sarah Jane. Good evening, Natalie. Hi, Natalie, shouldn't you be somewhere else? Where's your link? I'm going to send you the link in case I didn't send you the link. And where is our lovely Farida? Ladies and gentlemen, let me just think about what I'm saying here. We have two guests this evening. We have a Q&A. So for those of you who are excited about what you've been hearing up until now, look, she's actually messaged me to say, Anne-Marie, you forgot to do that. I'm going to do that now. Here it is, that one. And bear with me, beautiful ladies. I just have to do a little bit of, look. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay. Where am I? Where are you? Let me get you back. Just bear with me. I've lost you on the computer. There's so many different levels. Okay, where are we? There we go. Back. I'm back. Sorry about that. So we did have two beautiful guests. We've now got one amazing guest, and there she is already in the, oh, well done. Our other guest, I actually had a session with her this morning, and it was so beautiful. It was just such a beautiful connection. When we'd finished doing our hypnotherapy, our eyes locked, and her eyes were just in beautiful joy, and my eyes were the same, and we were just silent in that 2 minutes after that hypnotherapy, because it was honestly heavenly. And she's just texted me and she said, Anne-Marie, I'm going to give tonight a rain check because I feel so beautifully at peace. She's going to go to the woods and reconnect with herself. So I'm just going to encourage her to do that, because that's what we should all do, to really be at one with ourselves, is to connect with nature outside. That's where we came from ashes to ashes, from dust to dust. And that's where we should constantly, on a regular basis, reconnect. So there's nothing I can say about that, except that I know she's going to watch on replay. Have a lovely time in the woods, Farida. I'm so glad that you feel so much at peace, that you feel the calling to go and connect with the wild. So that's beautiful. All right. So good evening, Sarah Jane. Good evening. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Kerry. Good to see you here. Hey, good evening, Leanne. Really sorry, but I have to leave at 6:45. No problem. Oh, the lovely Claudia is here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So firstly, let's get on, because I know some people have got to move on. We're a little bit earlier today because I wanted to make sure that we got in this wonderful interview with Natalie, and it's going to be a Q&A. So if there's questions that you want to ask Natalie about her journey, you are welcome to ask them this evening. I want to apologise for yesterday. I know many of you tuned in, and myself and Natalie were sitting here just as we are now, talking to each other, wondering, where is everybody? And we did that for about 15-20 minutes, had quite a big chat, didn't we, Natalie? And then we realized, oh my gosh, I forgot to press the go live button. So that's why you didn't see me yesterday, because by the time I realized, the connection had already timed out. So that's why I'm a little bit earlier this evening. Because I wanted to catch up on yesterday. And yesterday's topic, or yesterday's theme, was a really important one, actually. It was about, what are the lies that we tell ourselves? What do we tell ourselves on a regular basis that keeps us actually playing small in our lives, stops us from being able to step out in faith over fear? And I'm sure that you recognize there are times when you've been given amazing opportunities and you really did want to say yes, and you found yourself saying, oh no. I know that certainly happened for me many times. In fact, the first time I can remember, I created a whole Facebook group. It was called Global Divas, and it was all about mindset and social media. And I was doing it with a friend at the time, and we set this whole thing up, and we'd already booked the place where we would go. This is when we were allowed out. we booked this place, and we'd created this whole program, and nobody turned up, or no one had bought any tickets. And I just saw that as a sign that we shouldn't do it. So I pulled the plug about 5 days before we were due. Global Brand Divas, that was it. There's still a Facebook page out there now called Global Brand Divas, and there are still people applying to come to it. That says everything, doesn't it? Anyway, I didn't, because at that time I wasn't fully immersed into my journey like I am now, and I doubted myself, and I used to be like many other women and many other men. I used to have to see something before I believed it to be true. That's not the case anymore. But back then I did. And because I didn't see any ticket sales, guess what? I didn't do the event. And I was very upset about that. I was very emotional. I just thought, how am I going to crack this? How do I get people to come and join in with something that I'm so passionate about? And there are ways. What I had to learn was to be able to let go of the attachment of the desire of wanting something. I had to believe that it was already done. And if what I'm saying resonates with you, you've probably read stuff about manifesting, because that's one thing I am really good at, because I had to be. So I remember at that time I wasn't good at manifesting. I remember crying my eyes out, and I remember my son coming and asking me what's wrong, and I said, no one turned up to my event. He said, you know your problem, Mum? He said, you just need to fail. And I said, what? He said, you just need to fail. I said, why would you say that? He said, because once you fail, you can get over the fear of failure. From a 17-year-old boy, that's amazing. That's why he makes me so proud. But he was so right. I just needed to get over the fear of failure, because once you get over that, then you just assume, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do it. I've done that before. I've done that before. And when you know in your mind, I've done that before, then you can just do it without the fear of failure. And the next year, that's exactly what I did. I did an event called Flow. I set it all up. Okay, I only got 5 people, but that's where it started. 5 people, and then 7 people, and then 9 people. I did exactly the same with my Self-Confidence for Life Success. My lady who's in waiting, she was the very first person I worked with. I put the whole event out there. I advertised it. I did as much as I could, and I got 1 person, but she was the right person. That's the difference. You can have lots of people who are the wrong people, or you can have 1 person that's the right person. What would you choose? So the biggest lies that we tell ourselves, the things that keep us playing small, that keep us playing stuck. I'm not going to go over everything, because it was quite a long session that I was going to do yesterday. But if I just say some of these things, how often have you heard yourself saying these things? Okay. Or even feeling these things, you know. So let's have a look. There are signs that you need to do the inner work. And if you haven't heard the term inner work, although I'm sure you have because it's everywhere, the inner work is the nourishment and the nurture of your soul, your very essence, your being, your spirit. That's what the inner work is. The external work is what you do in schools, nurseries, academies, and colleges. The external work so that you can fit into the external world. The inner work is the nurture and nourishment of your soul, of your spirit, which allows you to be happy wherever you are in one of those external places. And before you've done that inner work, if you haven't done that inner work, if that doesn't make any sense to you, maybe you recognize or resonate with some of these statements. You feel lonely and feel like an outsider looking into the world. Gosh, I remember that one. You suffer from chronic health issues, maybe. You keep attracting the wrong people into your life. I've worked with so many clients that have said, I don't know what it is, but I just seem to attract the wrong people, never realizing that, hey, there's a common denominator. If you are attracting the wrong person, what could be the common denominator? Yeah, you're right, it is you. And that's a sure sign that you need to do the inner work. Perhaps you don't know who you are anymore. Gosh, I remember that. I remember feeling, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I want. That was the hardest thing. I don't know what I want, because you're in limbo. You're just floating along. You're just existing. How many of you can resonate with that? Or you feel constantly unmotivated and flat, or your thoughts are almost consistently negative and self-critical. Gosh, does that resonate? I know I've spoken with some ladies in here. They know who they are. And we were having a conversation recently, and I did a whole sentence about one thing, and the person that I spoke to zoomed in on the negative statement. She didn't even hear the rest of it. And I reflected that back to her, and she said, gosh, I didn't even realize I do that. But many of us do that consistently every day. And guess what? Your self-talk is your teaching and learning. And if you are saying it out loud, guess who's listening? You. So you are teaching yourself negative behaviors by what you say. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh God, I could shoot myself. Oh, my feet are killing me. Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, I can't believe I was that dumb. All of those statements, are they healing you or are they hurting you? Think about your self-talk. Or maybe you feel that you have fits of intense anger. Oh gosh, I remember that one. Or you have very strong emotional triggers. Now, this is one where maybe you might not recognize this, but maybe if you watch films or something and you watch something and you're very emotional, are you one of those people that cries at everything? I know for a long time I used to cry at everything. I don't actually watch TV anymore, but I remember I could even cry at The Simpsons. How many people can cry at The Simpsons? I could cry at EastEnders. I could cry at Yogi Bear. If I really got involved with Yogi Bear, I could cry at anything. And this was a sure sign. There was so much pain inside me that connected with everything that I saw outside me, that reminded me of how empty, lonely, sad, unfulfilled, and not whole that I was. I was connecting with everything that reflected that back to me. So the deepness, the depth of my pain was absolutely reflected everywhere. I was just so emotional. I was one of those people that had tears just brimming on my eyelids all the time. And I used to think it was tears of joy, but now I realize it was tears of alignment with the misery that I can see in the world. And isn't there enough of that, right? Look at this. I like this. Oh, hold on. I need to go off of that because I want to see some of these lovely captions. Chat. Alison's joined us. Lucy, I'm very impressed. Thank you, Lucy. Super impressed. Don't get caught. Emma Jane's here. Oh gosh, Andrix. Oh, look at this. And is it Andrew or Andrix? It doesn't matter what it is. This is I'm so glad you mentioned that, Emma Jane, because this is, I want you to understand that we are born into lack. We are conditioned to believe we are not whole people. And if that Andrix advert doesn't tell you that you connect with this idea of the beautiful puppy and the toilet bowl is so lovely, what's your next thought? My life's not like that. These adverts are not there to make you feel happy and joyous. It might look like that on the surface, but really the underlying message you are getting is, if your life is not like this, you are not happy. It's a trick. It is a facade. It is the reason why so many of us are in constant pain and feel constant lack and empty, because we believe, as social media, as the television, as all media tells us constantly, day after day, we are bombarded with messages of, if you've got this and you don't, if you've got toilet paper and you don't feel like this, there's something wrong with you. We get it all the time. And I don't think people recognize how much we are in hypnosis, because you are subliminally being conditioned. You are being hypnotized without you even knowing it. And it hasn't just recently started. It started from the day you were born. There are people, there are whole companies, they're called marketing companies, and their whole aim is to catch you and draw you in and make you feel exactly how they want you to make you feel, so that you feel, if I buy that thing, I will become whole again. Yeah? Does it ever work? Do you ever go and buy that toilet roll and feel, oh my God, my life is so much better because I bought that? No, you don't. So just realize what you are being conditioned with. And if I was you, I'd turn off that TV, create your own TV, create your own picture to watch, because it will serve you so much better. Anyway, like product placements in films. Thank you, mystery guest who's not a mystery anymore. That's exactly what product placement is. People pay for their product to be placed into a screen where you're going to see it, you're going to feel lack, and you're going to go and buy it. That's how it works, right? I know it's oh, it was Andrex. It wasn't Andrew's toilet paper. I thought it was a new one that I didn't know about. I'm only joking with you, Emma Jane. So there you are, all those ways that you are telling yourself I am less than. When you keep repeating the same mistakes in your life, when life doesn't feel real. Gosh, I remember that one. When you struggle with high levels of anxiety or panic, that's the one that I see most often in my therapy room. People come to me because they do suffer with high levels of anxiety or panic. And often the first thing I often say to them is stop owning it. People come and say, oh my gosh, that really triggers my anxiety. Now, why would you own something that makes you feel so bad? You are having a period of anxiety. It's not yours, but if you keep owning it, then you're going to hold on to it. So disassociate yourself, separate yourself from the condition. You are you, and you are perfectly imperfect as you. And your condition is something that you have, that has evolved within you because of the stuff that you're seeing, because of the external world that you are experiencing. And it's as simple as that. Because I can tell you right now, if you stop looking at all of those things that are telling you how to be, what to do, and all those other things, your anxiety will lessen. And it really will. Because I've never had anxiety, to be honest. I just deal with it there and then. But that's because I didn't have a choice, not because I was really good. So I'm not putting anybody down. If you have got anxiety, maybe, and I know this might sound like, how dare she say that? But if you have anxiety, it's because you have the opportunity to have anxiety. I know, shocker. Anne-Marie, how dare you? You know why I can say that to you? Because I have never been ill once. I've only been ill once. I've only been in bed once in my life, and I'm 54 years of age. I've never been ill. Not because I'm a super healthy human being, because I love chocolate. The reason why I've never been ill is because I don't have time to be ill. And it's something that I've always said, wow. And when I've heard some women say, oh yeah, and I was in bed and my husband did it all, and I think, well, lucky you that you've got a husband that can do it for you, because I don't have time to be ill. I don't have a husband, so I'm not ill. Guess what? I'm never ill. So think about the words that you are saying. Are they conditioning you to be happier or sad? Just the thought that's out there. So that was yesterday's in a nutshell. What are the biggest lies you tell yourself, and how can you combat them? So we're moving quickly on to today. Now, today is a two-parter, because tomorrow I'm going to give you some really good tools and strategies to be able to combat a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about right now. Oh, there's so much to pack in today, and I really want you to get it all. So this whole journey has been about self-love, and I'm giving you awarenesses of where you are not loving yourself, and I hope that you are loving the awarenesses, okay? But what is self-love? Yeah, that's a good question. I want to see in your comments, what do you define as self-love, please? That's what I'd like to see. What do you define as self-love? Let's see who's first on that typewriter, who's typing like crazy, who's got a really good definition of self-love. The most powerful force in the universe, love. What's your definition of self-love, self-power, self-empowerment? Okay, our private guest got there first because she's got a direct line to me because she's in the green room. Natalie's definition of self-love is taking care of your personal wants and needs. Nice. Leanne, to respect yourself. Really good, really good. Self, and that's why it's called self-respect, right? Well done. Any others? Any really empowering definitions of self-love? Respect yourself is a good one. Positive self-talk. Leanne, spot on. Positive self-talk is really empowering. It's what will change your behavior. I've been doing this for 6 or 7 years. I never used to do positive self-talk, and it's totally changed the way that I view myself. That's what mirror work is about. Oh, I wonder how you got on with your mirror work. I'm going to ask that question in a minute. I'm really interested. Anything that serves my higher self. Oh, love that term. Higher self, self-awareness, acknowledgement, and action. I really like that you said action, because it's not enough just to think about it, is it, Kerry? It's about taking the action to back up the thought. That's where the change is. Love that, Kerry. Sarah, sorry, Sarah, sweetheart. That's the quintessential view of self-love is you are enough. I love the person who I am. Beautiful, beautiful. Love is the highest power. Thank you so much, Leanne. Putting yourself at the center of your own universe. I can hear angels in order to flow out to the rest of the universe with love. Now, there's a lady, you can see that this lady works with me using beautiful words like that. Wow, you just make my heart go whoosh. Beautiful. I'm going to repeat that. Oh, do you know what I could do? I'm going to put them up as I see them. I'm going to put them up for you so that you can share in the delight that I get whenever I read them. Yes. Yeah, that was Kerry. I love this. Nice and simple, but straight to the point. There is no room for speculation on that one. You are enough. I can see Natalie nodding in the green room there. You are enough. I love the person I am. How easy is it to love the person that you are, I wonder? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. I like the number 7. 7 words that will change your life. If you can really resonate and believe that, if you can vibrate that in your soul, your whole life will change. What's this one? Oh, wow, Leanne, I am rich with love. That's the best. Oh, that is the best kind of wealth. That's beautiful, Leanne. Well done. You know, I really, really like that. You know, I am rich with love and self-respect. She was going to add on the end. But you know what? Rich was really a good one. The wealth of self-love. The wealth of, I am rich in self-love. Wow, it even sounds prosperous, doesn't it? Alison says, I love that one. I am enough. That was a quintessential phrase which was coined. Well, most people think it was Marissa Peer that came up with the tagline, I am enough, because she's actually got a book, which I have. It's called I Am Enough. But interestingly, I was reading about Maya Angelou, who is one of my favorite all-time heroines, and she actually coined the phrase before Marissa. I think Marissa stole it off of Maya Angelou, because she says I am enough in that beautiful poem, I rise and still I rise. That's the name of our women's group that's going to be coming, Soul Sisters Rising. I love it. I've had such a powering afternoon talking to some of our soul sisters. I'm going to tell you more about that later. Let's have a look. I love that poem. No, it's a good one, isn't it, Natalie? It's so rich in power. I was about to say exactly the same, Jackie. Look at that. See, 2 synchronized ladies of same minds, and friends usually do that, don't they? They synchronize in what they're thinking and feeling. I can imagine you two. Sometimes Alison goes to phone Jackie, and Jackie says, oh my God, you must be a witch. I was just going to phone you. Yeah. Oh, I like this one. Are you ready for this one? Ooh, boom. I do not need another to validate me, as I know my own worth. Wow, Sarah, love it. So we are all very well aware of what self-worth is. I'm going to read out the definition that I have here, which is self-love is the forgiveness, acceptance and respect for who you are deep down, all your beautiful and hideous parts included. When you love yourself, you take care of yourself, you honor your limitations, you listen to your needs, and you respect your dreams enough to act on them. That's following up from, who was that who said, Alison and I only met through you, Anne-Marie. Beautiful ladies. I love that. I love that. That's so beautiful. Wow. Sorry, I digressed from the, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. That was a gift. Thank you. When you love yourself, your happiness, health, and fulfillment are all of supreme, oh, I love that word, supreme importance, because you realize that without loving yourself, you will never be able to genuinely love others. And just breathe that in. Just ingest that statement of empowerment, of soul women rising. Yeah. So when you align with that statement of self-love, when you actually align with that and you truly resonate with the description of self-love that resonates with you, it might align with that, but your own understanding is what you're going to be working towards. You will feel more self-confident. You'll feel more tolerant of your flaws and weaknesses. You'll have increased love and acceptance and compassion for yourself, and you'll have improved relationships. You'll have enhanced joy and gratitude for living, enjoy and enhanced gratitude for self. You'll be healthier. You'll make wiser choices for yourself. Self-love illuminates, love that word, illuminates, improves and deepens every aspect of your life. You'll have improved friendships. You'll have increased playfulness. We've got to bring playfulness and fun into it, haven't we? An improved work life, improved ability to discover and fulfill your personal destiny. That's a good one, isn't it? Enhanced power to fulfill your personal destiny. Deeper access to one's soul and spiritual path. This is where we're leading, right? We're going beyond the 3D that we can see, and we're moving up into the higher realms of higher consciousness. We're leaving behind earthly things, and we're going into heavenly realms and calling on those esoteric thoughts, feelings, and just presence. That's where you can get to when you have that self-love. You can reach those higher realms. You cannot when you don't love yourself. And those words will feel alien and woo-woo and weird if you haven't already experienced that vastness of who you are inside. So yes, learning how to love yourself more, it might feel warm and fuzzy inside, but, and this is the bit that you need to know, okay? Because many times when you are being sold a dream on social media, on YouTube and all those other places where people are in the business of attracting your attention and making you feel less than, so you will agree to go with them, you will realize that these are the kind of things that people prey on. I don't particularly like this, but these awarenesses, that they're not lies, but I think there's a kind of way to remind people that they're of their lack. But nonetheless, we do have to do that, because otherwise people won't take action. So the truth is, and I know you already know this, most people won't want you to succeed. You did know that, didn't you? Not only that, but society at large, which is what I've been talking about, the social conditioning, the subliminal hypnosis, it will continue to bombard you with the subliminal messages such as, and if you resonate with any of these, if you have seen this, because I always say to all my clients, notice what you notice. It's become my mantra. Notice what you notice. When I read them out, just put some hearts up, right? Just put some hearts up so I know that you realize this is happening, so that you can objectively step away and make decisions based on who you are and not the subliminal message, right? Because this is, I want to see, this is really interesting. Okay, so as I said, truth is most people won't want to support you, and society at large definitely doesn't support you. It wants your money, it wants your time. It's going to remind you in everything that it does that you are not enough. As Sarah said, you are enough. That's self-love. But society will remind you, you are not enough, so come and buy something for me so that you feel better. You have to make people like and accept you. This is what happens. The journey of self-love, when you step into that power, that Bodhisattva power, right? That's that magnificent powerful womanhood, when you step into it, you are going to have to make people like and accept you as you are, not as they would like you to be. Because right now, whether you like it or not, your presence in most of your people's lives is more about them than it is about you. And I know that because I did it for many, many years. In fact, I was the absolute people pleaser because of my past. I thought the only way that people would like me was to be a people pleaser. So I got really good at people pleasing. But the truth of the matter is, when you really love yourself, people are going to have to make a choice about you. When you stand in your own power, you may lose a few friends. They may not like the new, fully empowered you. And they'll bomb what social media do, and what the media, television media, it will tell you that it will show you ways how to make people like you. I mean, I'm just going to give you an example of this. On Facebook, I saw this advert which said, and it was about a woman trying to attract a man. And it was saying things like the 5 things that you can never do if you want to keep your man, and 5 ways in which you can, 5 texts that you can send that will have him run into your door and never want to leave you. Right? Have you seen those things on Facebook? Right? And they're courses. They're actually courses, or 10 ways that you can, 10 actions that you can take to make sure that he never leaves your side. I just deplore this. I know it's marketing. I know they want to get you to be engaged with them, but isn't that just telling you more and more that you need to know 5 ways to send a text to a man? I don't care. If I send a text to a man and he doesn't want to text me back, whose loss is it? Is it mine or is it his? Or does it just mean that we're not connecting? Or does it just mean he's the wrong guy for me? Why has it got to be my fault? Why have I got to learn how to text better so that I can attract this person who doesn't have to do anything? Yes, you have seen them. Yeah, and they're awful. Alison said this. Yeah, they are awful. That's what's creating this lack culture there. Right. Oh, it's not doing it. Right. And also, you have to put others' needs above your own all the time with no exception. Have you seen that subliminal advertising? Have you seen the advertising where mum's at home and she does all this lovely washing and she smells it? She's got so much joy about the washing, and the little kid comes home and you wrap him in the towel and he's so, oh yeah, mum, you're doing a great job of washing the towels. I love you for washing the towels. You made me feel so good. Surely listening to your child at the end of the day and asking them, how was your day? Even with the dirty towels on the floor with footprints all over them. What's more nourishing? How was your day? How did you cope with that? Was there anything that you really enjoyed? What upset you? Should we talk about that? Isn't that more worthwhile and nourishing than, here's a really fluffy towel? And if we have a fluffy towel moment together, we're going to be set for life. I hate it. And that's the subliminal message of you have to put others' needs above yourself. Do you remember the OXO adverts? So what was her name? The lady that I actually really did like her. She had the hair in the wedge. Do that wedge, and every time she just used to be so joyful about putting this dinner on the table that all the family loved, and they'd all be sitting down with their knives and forks waiting for this delectation that she'd bring out the kitchen, and that was all she was worthy of, was bringing that stuff and putting it on the table. She didn't even get to sit down and eat it most of the time. It was all the husband going, Bisto, yeah, you're not enough, you're only enough when you're cooking dinner for us. Anyway, so the other subliminal messages are, you have to conform to the status quo to fit in, right? This is a tough one. This is why so many teenagers rebel. You have to look a certain way. I live in Essex. It's even harder here. I have a daughter. I experience this all the time. We've got these, we've got these, we've got this, we've got extensions that we take out at night. I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to be a man now, to be honest, because imagine going out to, the Sugar Hut or somewhere snazzy like that, and you see this gorgeous looking woman, you're like, wow, she is drop dead gorgeous. You go up to her and you get a date, and I'm only talking about how I'm generalizing how it happens now. A lot of one night stands, and maybe you have a one night stand with this chick, and you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you've got this bald girl who's taken off her hair extension, she's taken off her eyelashes, her lips have gone down, she's taken out the chicken fillets out of her bra. Who is she? Where's that lovely woman that I had last night? And that's how society has made us. It's made us feel that we have to live up to this iconic image of something that we're really not, and we lose all our individuality by trying to fit into this box. Wow. So yeah, society does want you to be happy, unhappy, and discontented. in order for the whole machine of the economy. Imagine that. You as a woman are holding up the economy, because if you, I just thinking about this, it's making me think, wow, if every woman, if every one of you out there truly loved yourself and knew your absolute divine empowered presence, and you bought things because they were functional and did the job, rather than the enhanced fabrication of the £25 shampoo that probably does the same as the £1.99 one. If you truly knew your power and worth and realized that it doesn't matter what in ingredients you put in you, the actual fact of the beauty and essence of you is you, yeah, right? If you realize that, well, where would we be? What would happen to the economy? What would be driving the economy? Because, you know, in marketing, they look at trends. And you know that for a long while, it was the gay pound, because gay people were encouraged to come out and be seen. And a whole range of products came out for the gay man to enhance himself. I saw one today, the Nature's Elements man's skincare. And I thought, wow, look at that. Once upon a time, it was the Rock and the Hard Place shaving foam. Now it's Nature's Natural Elements. 20 years ago, a man would have gone, what? I'm not wearing that crap. Even men have been seduced by this constant bombarding of you are not enough. Unfortunately, I'm not in any of those camps. In fact, I am probably the devil's advocate, the Achilles heel in the side of all of those advertising companies. That's why they will never ask me to advertise for them, because what I preach is, what I teach is, what I empower is, be the real you. It's the name of my program specifically for that reason. So I'm never going to be fashionable or a favorite in the media industry. They wouldn't allow me to put an advert in between what they're doing, because I'm totally the opposite of that. I'm telling you that you are enough, that you can be all of that, and I will teach you how to be more of that. And why would they want that? Why would they want the economy crushed by me? Yeah, it is shocking. Oh, look at this one. I bet it's still cheaper than women's toiletries. Oh, I remember the OXO advert. So sexist now I think about it. Right, that's exactly right. Let's have some of these up. Some of these comments. Let's have a look. Oh, you love that one. I am not enough. There's a whole industry around I am not enough. Honestly, Alison. Again, we have a catchphrase that really embodies what we think and feel, and then it gets bastardized. It gets used and exposed and abused. I think Dove use I am enough now, because they realize that that's what women actually want to feel like. They flip it on its head and say, yeah, you're right, you are enough with our product. It's sickening, it's shocking. Let's have a look at some of these. My confidence has risen so much. High five, sister. I'm so pleased to hear it. Let's have a look. I was about to say exactly the same. This was that you met with each other. I love this. I can't wait to get us all in the room. That we are going to have, you know, Soul Sisters Rising meetup. So this is going to be gorgeous when we actually get to meet. Wow, there is so many things coming. I can tell you, myself and Natalie and one of my other soul sisters who I've worked with, her name is Debbie. You're going to see her interview tomorrow, which was awesome, by the way. We have just created so many new things that are coming up that are just going to lift you and empower you, and you're going to carry on rising like real soul sisters. I can't wait. Let's have a look. I do not need anyone to validate me, as I know my own worth. Am I going the wrong way? Am I going the wrong way? Be the real you. That's exactly what the program does. And if you remember Emma Jane yesterday, she really was the embodiment. She is the embodiment of being the real her, rising like a phoenix, rising like a real soul woman to become the very essence of being the real her. I love it. Right. So I know that's been a quick, short, very concise, you know, if you need to do the inner work, these are some of the things you might recognize about yourself. And when you do recognize these things about yourself, this is what you will feel like. I hope you've got an understanding of that. It's been short because I really want to bring on my guest who is going to share with us what it is like to have that journey from being not enough to being enough. And when I say that, I mean changing from language to clothing to hairstyles to lifestyle, everything. This woman has done a 360-degree turn in her whole life, and she is absolutely inspirational. She so many firsts that she's done since I've worked with her. Really, she has. And from where she came from, which was such a difficult place, I think you're really going to be inspired by her. Her name is Natalie. You've seen her here in the group. She is a concierge, and she's agreed to come and share her story with you. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, please do ask them. She is so willing to be open and open her heart and answer you honestly about any questions that you may have. Isn't that kind? I'm sure she's going to blow you away. So I'm going to bring her out of the green room. Did you like being in the green room, Natalie? It's posh, isn't it? It is a bit posh. I'm going to bring her out, and I'm just going to get my questions ready. Yeah, there we are. And welcome to the stage, Natalie Catch.
Hi. I got a bit emotional just then.
Well, it's a good thing. It's emotional. It's like L'Oreal's I'm worth it. You see that? Can you see how they really, the marketing industry really gets its hooks into, oh, that's what women are thinking about themselves. Oh, that's how women are rising. Let's jump on that one. And before you know it, you can't escape it. It was something that built you up, and then they attached it to something that you need. So it kind of, it's the inverse, isn't it? 1 minute you think, oh yeah, I am worth it. Oh, but I haven't got L'Oreal. I need the L'Oreal first. When you're worth it, yeah? I detest it. So welcome, Natalie. We have spoken today. We've had some really empowering conversations. So thank you so much for our little tester earlier on, for our new venture that's coming out. Say no more. We're going to keep a little bit quiet about that. I'm going to start with my questions. And please just enjoy this realization of just how far you've come in your journey. Okay. And don't forget, ladies, you can ask questions directly on the chat to our lovely Natalie. So let me ask you the first question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied were you with the life that you were leading before you worked with me? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So probably.
Oh, 10 being, it was awesome. 1 being.
Oh, what, before I met you?
Yes.
Probably 3 or something like it. It would change, definitely, like, but only the highest, probably 5. But I think sometimes I tell myself, oh no, I'm fine, and then just know that it was probably 3 most of the time.
Yeah. And when you say 3, so what were the things that you were getting joy with at the time?
So I'd be sort of, like I said to you on the phone, I'd be sort of thinking, oh yeah, this job's great, and then it's sort of like I thought to myself, but I didn't want to get that thought out. Oh, how long is this going to last? And like after, I think the first, I don't know, 10 jobs was like, oh no, this is okay, because I kept trying to be confident about it. But then after a while, I was just like, oh, really? About like getting into other jobs, I just kept thinking, this feels good now, but how long? And then, I just kept trying to trick myself into thinking it was okay, but it just wasn't, unfortunately, all those jobs.
And the more and more you are inconsistent and not able to complete and finish things, it just cements that thought even more of, I am not worthy, I cannot do this. And every time it happens, it just reaffirms that negative thought that you have, in the same way that confidence building is about building up. When you have negative experiences, it just pushes you further and further down.
Yeah.
When we had our first consultation, do you remember, you were actually quite emotional, weren't you?
Yeah, because I don't know if you mind me saying why, like the sexuality, because I'm actually quite open now with it all.
But Natalie, do you know what? Before you share this with anybody, I'm absolutely fine with you sharing this, because it's something that you would not have dreamed of sharing when I first met you. In fact, you were really living half a life. You were hiding behind everything. And I'm so proud that you are now at a stage where you're asking me, do I mind? Of course I don't mind. I'm so proud of you. I'm absolutely proud of you. So share away, because you don't know who's listening. And as I said, your story someday will be somebody else's survival guide. So please do share what was going on for you.
So basically Anne-Marie and I were talking about my mum or my family in general, how I find it hard to speak to them all the time. And then Anne-Marie was saying, because I said about contacting, she said, is it contacting, do you not contact them maybe because there's a problem? And I said to her how sometimes I do struggle to talk to my mum because I feel like she just turns the subject around to something else. And then she was saying, well, it sounds like you're hiding part of yourself from your mum. And then as I was trying to say, no, I'm not, I realised that I actually was hiding the fact that I'm bisexual. I didn't tell her, I didn't tell any of my family. It's my partner and close friends that knew. And I just started crying, thinking, oh my God, like I am hiding myself. She doesn't know this. And basically Anne-Marie cheered me up, saying, look, if you want to tell them, it's up to you, but it's obviously affecting you more than you know. So during our first hypnotherapy session, I just thought to myself, I'm going to tell them. But I think it just gave me the push, thinking I don't.
Something that you've been hiding. How long had you been hiding that secret for?
At least 5 years.
5 years. And in one session, you were empowered to go and reveal yourself for the very first time. And you weren't hiding from just your mum. It was so many people, your friends. You were just living this half life and feeling unworthy, feeling that there was something wrong with you. The way you spoke, you were so small at that time. You were so small in the way you presented yourself. You're not the way you are now. You weren't going on social media. You were hiding everywhere. It wasn't just at home. Do you remember? Because I'm thinking relative to how you came out. You came out everywhere, right? So carry on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to, yeah.
That's all right. It's nice to hear, really. But yeah, because you just sort of made me realise that I'm trapping myself by not telling people, my close ones. And so I just thought, F this. I don't want to actually say it, but yeah, like I don't deserve to feel trapped. And the moment I did, it was absolutely fine. Thank you, Alison. Yeah, it was just sort of have this thing of like ripped off. It was like a massive band-aid going. And for a moment I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, actually, I like this. I can breathe.
I mean, the next question, it's not even on my board, but from being able to reveal your true identity, almost like it was the Masked Crusader, you were this superwoman, but you had this mask on, taking the mask off and actually revealing yourself. What did that allow you to do in all of those other places that you've never, ever done before?
I'm thinking of so many things.
I know. And that's the thing. When I talk to my clients and I try and take them back to where they were, they go, oh, no, not really. And then I have to remind them of all the things that you've done. You've said, oh, I've never done that before. I've never done that before. I've never done that before. So can you think of some of those things that you've never, because I know them all.
It's kind of thick. Thank you, ladies, by the way. You're writing all things to see. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I cut my hair by myself for the first time, which was just
always a sign of change. That's always, most women, when they are stepping into, most women do that when they get divorced, or when there's a big transformation, they cut their hair because it's a sign of, it's a sign of change. It's a sign of shedding, letting go, shedding the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really sort of funny because I just looked in the mirror in the shower and I thought to myself, I keep saying I'm going to cut it. When am I going to cut it? And I just literally got the scissors and went.
You did. It's grown so long now, but it was up here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like there, and it was about this long, I remember. And then I just cut it to there because I thought otherwise it's going to be funny. Yeah, I just thought, no, I'm just going to do it. And I was really glad that I did.
I remember for about 6 to 8 weeks, you texted me constantly saying, guess what I've done? Guess what I've done? Guess what I've done? Right? That was the Self-Confidence for Life Success course. And I'd be like, oh, what? So can I just remind you of some of the things you've done? Because, and this is the thing, this is the difficulty, when it's not a difficulty, but when people have been there and I remind them all the way here, because they're so happy being in this new place and space of freedom, they don't want to go back there. So they can't really remember. Who'd want to remember that, right? I always tell people, don't live in the past, be in the present and look to the future. So it's not surprising, right, that you go remembering a bit. I remember You had never, ever done a Facebook Live.
Mm.
You had never, ever done a networking group. Yeah. You had never, ever done a live in a networking group. You had never, ever set up a business. You had never, ever set up a Facebook group all by yourself. You had never, ever, or you had, but it was always difficult to go shopping by yourself. Remember?
Mm. Yeah, because I was going through a really bad health cycle at the time. So I just sort of gotten really scared to do it at all for a while.
It was one of your goals. You said to me, one of my goals is to be able to go shopping with Josh, because I don't usually go, because I'm always afraid that I'm going to have a fit, and so I don't do it. And I remember the day that you texted me and you said, oh my gosh, I went shopping all by myself.
Mm.
And I put it up on a page somewhere, because I said, some people might think this is a small thing, but to you, it was everything, because you'd never done it before.
Mm.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, we got a nice message there from our lovely Emma Jane. What's she saying? I can't even see that. I did the hair thing too. I remember you did it at the same time, didn't you? Cut all the blonde off. Used to hide behind the blonde. Back to natural colour now. Natural being the operative word. That's what this work does. It takes you back to natural. Love that. Love that. All right, on to the next question. I'm not going to answer that one because I know you won't remember. Okay, so thinking about you were looking for you were looking for a change, and someone suggested to you, I think it was Josh, why don't you have a life coach? What was your first reaction when he said to you, why don't you have a life coach? What did you say?
Basically, I was just like, oh, I don't want anyone helping me. I think I'm okay to sort it out myself. And we had this conversation a few times, and then he was like, don't you care enough about us or enough about you, more importantly? Now, he quickly said you, because we kept arguing, because I just didn't have anything together. It just kept going in the slump and then round and round in a circle.
Wow.
And it was, so I thought, you know what, I care enough about him, I care enough about myself to just get help,
Yeah. And and for him watching you, it's really painful. So this transformation, it's never just about the person. It's the ripple effect that it creates that goes at, because your relationship was in a slump, your relationship with your mum was a lie, and every part of your life was permeated with hiding. And as you started to unravel and become yourself, it penetrated and reflected and rippled out to every part of your life, didn't it? So when Josh said to you, do you not think about it? What nearly made you say no? What was holding you back from saying yes? That's probably the best way to put it. What was holding you back?
What if it doesn't work? That was the one thing that I was thinking. What if it doesn't work? And also, does it mean I can't control myself? That I need help.
Yeah. Because it's like admitting to yourself, I'm not in control, and I've got to give this control over to somebody else. But the thing about hypnotherapy and life coaching is it's never about me. In fact, it's the opposite of what you believed, because it's all about giving you the control back, giving you the power, which you hadn't been embracing. You wanted everything around you to fix itself by magic. You didn't want to take responsibility for it. So life coaching and hypnotherapy is actually the opposite of losing control. It's about giving you control back. Would you say? Yeah. Okay. So at that time, Natalie, when you had that real deep, empty void in your heart that was making you so sad and miserable, and that has a lot to do with illness as well, that feeling of unfulfillment and being less than and not enough and all those words. How are you filling the void of your emptiness?
What now, you mean?
Oh, then, back then.
I used to, I saw you with someone today, well, you already said it was Debbie, and saying how smoking used to fill her void. With me, I was thinking it was, you're going to laugh, just programs on Netflix, because you can watch them so easily. And it was programs I'd already seen. I still do a bit, but only when I have sort of spare time to fill time in. But
Yeah.
I used to always watch this program, and my partner used to say, "Oh, you're watching this again. I don't mind if you're watching something, just don't watch this again." And I realised it was Once Upon a Time.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was either that or Friends. Friends I watched loads because I loved it, but it's just sort of, I think I was falling into, because it was comfort, like people smoke a lot or drink a lot, you know, it's that sort of thing where you're like, oh, this is fun. I'm not well enough to do work, which is fine, but then it's just to sort of lean on it as you know,
Crutch.
like sort of thing.
As a crutch. And there's an interesting thing there, because remember back then you didn't think you could work. You didn't think you had the energy to do a job. You were so unmotivated and flat, which is one of the signs of you need to do the inner work. Remember, I read that out. I remember that's what you came to me for. When we did our consultation, I asked you, what do you want to change? And you said, I want to be motivated to exercise. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And do you remember what happened after you had your hypnotherapy in terms of the exercise?
Yeah, I started straight away.
And you were consistently exercising as well. Now you've got your job and you've got other things that replace that, but you were doing it consistently. And one of the things that you'd said before was, I won't be able to keep it up. I've never been able to keep it up. I'd do it for a couple of days and then I'd stop. And then you did it consistently. You're like, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it, which was a really big thing for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was quite big. And another big thing is the other day I was saying to Josh that I spoke to Anne-Marie and she asked me some questions, and I can't believe how much I've changed. Then he said to me, yeah, you have, even though obviously you have to take a break when you're not well. That doesn't mean you haven't changed, but I can tell you've just got something in here where you push yourself and you motivate yourself more, and it just sort of clicks on quite a lot now as opposed to before when you'd sort of slump back.
Yeah.
So she's helped you sort of with the switch in your brain.
Yeah. Because you still listen to your hypnotherapies a lot, don't you? You tune into them when you feel you need them. Because it's a journey, isn't it? It's not, and this is what I want people to understand. I think they have this view of, when I change my life, it's changed. And we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? About the transition, that it's so subtle and it's so smooth. You could almost believe you know, oh, that was going to happen anyway. A lot of people say that to me. They go, I say, what's changed for you? They go, oh, nothing really. I do this and do that. And I go, yeah, but did you used to do that? They go, well, no. And I go, okay then, you know, because it's so smooth. Listen, let's face it. If I did hypnotherapy with you and all of a sudden it went boom, it'd scare the living daylights out of you, wouldn't it? If all of a sudden you had these magical powers to just go and do and be and have exactly what you want to do, just like that, you'd scare yourself, wouldn't you? You'd think you had superpowers and you'd think, oh my God, how big do they go? So it has to be like that, because you can only ingest what your mind is prepared to accept. And so with the hypnotherapy, every time you have hypnotherapy, you can have the same hypnotherapy 10 times and you get something different from it every time. That's how powerful hypnotherapy is. But your subconscious brain is the habitual brain. So your conscious brain is 4,000. It processes 4,000 bits per minute. Your subconscious brain processes 40 million bits per minute. Imagine if you had access to your subconscious brain all the time. You'd be like that. Well, you'd be a super person. You just wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to process it enough to be able to put it into practice. That's why your conscious brain is so much smaller, so it can ingest small bits at a time, give that to the subconscious brain and say, change that. Except for in hypnotherapy, I cut out the middleman. I don't even talk to the conscious brain. I go right into the subconscious and I ask, is it your subconscious? Am I talking to your subconscious? And you go, yeah. I go, good. And we have a conversation. You don't know anything about it. You're fast asleep, snoring. By the time you come back again, we've already done our bit. We've shook hands and said, see you later, bye. And then you go, whoa, what happened? You know, there you are. It's wonderful, isn't it? Right? So much quicker than reading a book. So much quicker than going on a 10-month program or whatever it is. Okay. So let me ask you, from your point of view, what has been your biggest shift on this journey?
I think it's my motivation, also respect for myself. Definitely. Like when I read things like, if I heard you say, I think it was a year ago we met, yeah, so thank you, Emma. I just read that as I was talking. Yeah, so sorry, I lost my trail. Oh, that's it. Yeah, if I read a year ago about self-love and everything and heard what you just said today, I would have been like, oh, I'm nowhere near that. Like, and all those, and actually a good example would be before when you were reading out the list, and I started ticking yesterday actually, and I got 15 ticks of how I used to feel, and then just 2 ticks of what I feel now.
Wow.
So I was looking at it thinking, oh my God, like, it's just really nice thinking I used to feel so much, and now it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I see it in your language. I see it in the way you talk, the way you walk, your very essence, your very presence has absolutely changed. And that was what was so lovely about Debbie today. We're not going to reveal it all, but do you remember, you become a totally different person. And that's why it's so hard for you to go back there and remember who I was, because you're not that person anymore. You're not connected to that person anymore. You've actually done a whole paradigm shift. You've up-leveled your whole life to become a different person. And that's why it's so difficult to put your mind back where it was. And that's brilliant. That's a really fantastic sign of your personal growth, isn't it? Very empowering. Okay, so what's been the most noticeable? So your inner circle that you've had around you, what's been the most noticeable thing for them? What's the feedback that you've got where people have said, wow, whatever it was? What's been most noticeable?
I take things on board a lot more. Like, before I met you, I would have been very, so say if someone gave me a negative comment, I'll straight away be like, what do you mean? How rude? Like, not necessarily that feisty. I think I was exaggerating.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. I was like, whoa.
It's just exactly, you're shocked, because I used to be quite sort of defensive. I think that's the best word. So I would just always, if someone said something negative, I'd be a bit like, oh my God, they're attacking me, go into defense mode. Like, that's how I would be, like a sort of Autobot kind of thing. But now if someone says something negative, I think to myself, why are they saying this? It must be for a reason. And then when I think actually they've got a point, I'm a bit wrong, I'll straight away say, I'm really sorry. And even like say, how can we solve this? I'm really sorry that happened. It won't happen again. And actually think about it rather than being about it all.
Wow. That is so powerful, to be able to differentiate the behavior from yourself is a real sense of empowerment. You know, that's one of the hardest things for people to understand, that they don't go into that self-defense mode and take it absolutely personally as an attack, but rather what you're doing now is you're stepping back from it and going, okay, there's the problem. The problem's not me. The problem is the problem. What can I do to make it different? I can actually look objectively and say, what part have I got in that scenario? You know, yeah. What part have you got in? What part do I play in that scenario? And look at it as a lesson, because when you can be objective and go, what part do I play? Then you can say to yourself, right, well, I can do this to make that situation better, rather than me being the problem. Because when you're in it, you can't change. When you're in it, all you're doing is surviving and deflecting, aren't you? But when you can step away and go, oh, well, there's the problem. How can I fix it from here? What can I do to help that problem? It changes everything. It makes you so much more powerful, because you can move forward, because you're looking at it objectively as a problem and not berating yourself and saying it's you personally. Yeah. That's such a powerful, I hope you know how much power that will give you, because it will allow you to move forward a whole lot more quicker, instead of staying in that place of self-deprecation, of being really down on yourself. I mean, some people can stay in that slump for a lifetime, you know, and the more that you can see, this is the beauty of what I'm so glad you said this, Natalie. This is the beauty, I think, of the journey of when you can truly appreciate that I am who I am. And these things happen outside of me, but it doesn't change who I am. I am still me. They don't affect me, my psyche, my inner self. They're just things outside of me. Did you get what I mean there? That's why the mirror work is so empowering, because it strengthens the inner me, the person inside that cannot be touched by anybody but you. Can you see why it works now? Because it reinforces the I am beautiful, I am strong, I am amazing, I am capable, I am competent. And what happens is every time you come across a lesson that's challenging, you'll start to think in the I am. I am working towards resolving this issue about that. I am. So you're looking at life as a lesson rather than, a victim. You get out of the victim mentality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I no longer let myself to feel I'm attacked. I just think to myself, you're not under attack. You just need to think about what's going on.
Yeah, powerful, powerful. What did that say? She did the haircutting thing too. I know she's done it loads of times. She's super awesome now. Natalie, big one. What have you discovered about yourself during this journey?
That I'm more capable of change than I thought I was. That I always thought I was a bit capable, but it wasn't the same thing. It's like I said, that would be more like a job and things like that. But I didn't, think actually I deserve to have a so-and-so job. I deserve to be self-employed if that's what I want, if that's, what makes me happy. I deserve to be happy. And I think I've just sort of played to my needs more, and that's important.
Yeah. I want you to expand on this amazing job, because where were you when we first started working together, and where are you now in terms of your career? Because this is awesome. I remember you ringing me up. Do you remember saying, oh my gosh, guess what? Do you remember when you first sold your first piece of furniture? Do you remember? You hadn't been selling anything. Then all of a sudden, you was working, you were building yourself up, you were doing lives, you were going on networking groups, and then do you remember?
Oh, sure. Sorry, so much has happened.
I know. Right, so when you first started your business, was it a thriving, flourishing business?
No, this is going to sound weird, but I was actually scared when I got sales or inquiries, because I could answer it, but I think I naturally was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, it just made me feel nervous and anxious. And my partner even said to me, why are you scared? It's a good thing. Like, you're getting interest, you're going to get sales. And I would just be like, no, I'm scared. I don't know why I was scared, but I think because I just wasn't confident in myself, and I felt like I'm just going from job to job. What if this isn't the right thing? But thanks to you, I made it the right thing. And, I'd started getting sales, and it was exciting.
Yeah. And for your boyfriend to see you, being empowered and adding to his business and standing alone, what did that feeling of independence where you were earning your own money, how did that make you feel? Because you're employed now, right?
Yeah, it just it makes me feel so like so complete. So not I'm complete, but I obviously want to push further. So it's really great though to have that to start with, and then just be like, okay, I have this, let's push it on and make it really successful. And I feel proud of myself, and this is going to sound a bit to other people, but I've always wanted my partner Josh to feel proud of me. And he's said it a few times, but recently it's just felt more real. Like he's genuinely thinking, oh, I'm really proud of how you've moved on and how you've bettered yourself. And when I was writing down, I think it was today, then the lies we tell ourselves, and then back it up with something your partner or someone said. And I put how I think I put this on the group, the whole, like, I feel like I'm going to fail everything, and I don't deserve to, to not fail. And then I put him saying, I'm really proud of you, that you're succeeding and everything. And I just sort of got really emotional for it. So it was just really nice. Like, it just means the world to me, because I've sort of looked up to him for ages now, because he's got a business by himself, and, he's growing that. And I just think whatever he goes through, he's still pushing on. So for him to say that to me was just amazing.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is totally beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. This is the last question I'm going to ask you. And it's the best question. I saved the best till last. What's the best thing about your life right now, Natalie?
It's my independence, like the fact that I'm getting there to sort of take control, spoiling Josh for a holiday, hopefully at one point. And you know, it's the fact that I can actually think of that realistically, whereas a few years ago I would have been like, no, like, I can barely push forward at all. But yeah, now I've got this, and I've sort of had the ability more to think and plan. I just, you know, feel like the clouds lifted for that. So I can definitely plan things like holidays and to pay for rent completely. So even if he wasn't here, I could take care of it. And I've always wanted that. And now it actually feels real that I can get that.
Yeah, and that's massive, isn't it? Because when you can be totally independent yourself and you don't have to rely on your partner, being together becomes a choice rather than feeling like I don't have a choice, because that can cause resentment in itself. But knowing that you are now financially independent, emotionally independent, and that you are together because you want to be and you are giving, that's superpower, isn't it? That's real superpower, and it enhances your relationship, I think, when you know that, you know, we're together because we want to be and not because, you know, he pays the bills or, you know, he's the one that does everything. I just think it's a real, I think it's a real empowerment. So I'm really, really impressed with you. Natalie, what would you say to anybody? Does it take a special kind of person to do this kind of work, honestly?
No, not at all. So it just takes someone who really wants to change. Thank you, Evan. That means a lot. But yeah, just someone that wants to change, someone that's willing to change and take it on board. Because it's like people say, oh, hypnotherapy doesn't work, or, you know, something like that. And with me, I was worried that it would affect my epilepsy. But I was actually thinking on the first session, this will work because you want it to work. You know, and I just remember really wanting it and needing it, and even talking to Josh afterwards, and him saying, oh, it won't work on me if I did that, I don't think. And I said, not if you don't want it to work. If you want it to work, it will work. And I sort of pushed myself for it to work.
Well, to be fair, I'm gonna have to put a dampener on that, because even if you don't want it to work, it works. That was the same thing you've just said. Emma Jane said that's what she said when she came in. She was like, you know, thinking all these things. It's the first time, and she said, I've done this before. In fact, someone else said it to me the other day. I've done this before, and the lady that I helped give up smoking, on my page, I did. Do you see her, Sarah, a girl that I went to school with? She's been smoking since she was 11 years old. Smoking since she was 11. She's 54. 3 sessions, gave up smoking. And I said to her, what did you think before you worked with me? She said, to be honest, I thought we was just going to laugh and muck about like we did at school. That's what she said on the video. I was like, no. But, you know, it's a big thing to be able to believe that 3 sessions of sitting in a chair with someone talking at you in a certain way is going to change your life. It's a big ask. But that's exactly what it is. And when you let go of your preconditioned thoughts, preconditioned and pre-programmed thoughts, that's when magic can happen, because you allow it to, and it is all in the allowing. But to be fair, even if you don't want it to, I'm going to get you under anyway. Sorry.
That sounds so sinister.
Oh, is it a nice experience, Natalie, being in hypnosis?
Yeah, it's very peaceful. It's very calming. It was so calming to a certain extent that after a while, and I kept hearing your voice, my mind was like just so relaxed.
I do this induction, and it's with a candle, and you watch the candle, and then you just go, you're just gone, you're out. And but I have to put a proviso in it that says, and from this moment on, every time you see a candle, you will still feel, think, and act the same way as you normally would. The only time that you'll feel and fall into a deep hypnotic sleep is when you're with me. I have to put that in, because can you imagine going out to a restaurant with your beloved, and you're sitting there looking at each other and the candle's on, and you go, oh. It's not going to be cool, is it? Oh, thank you. So good. I worry about snoring. Oh my gosh, Emma Jane, snoring. Yeah, you're awful. No, of course you're not. Me, Emma Jane, I'm going to have a private word with you after, because I've done some research about snoring, and I have a fantastic natural remedy. I'm going to share that with you. And if anybody else wants to know, you just need to give me a little email. Not an email, what do they call it? One of those things, text something, one of those 99 platforms that there are. I want to say a really big thank you to you, Natalie. You're going to be seeing more of Natalie. You're going to be seeing more of Emma Jane. She doesn't know it yet. You're going to be seeing more of Debbie. We are going to have our own TV show, and it's going to be awesome. And I know you put forward the Free Women, but then it sounded a bit like Freemasons. So it is Soul Women Rising, and the show is called Express Yourself. So there is going to be more about that coming soon. It's really exciting. We had a little tester today, didn't we? Oh, she said, no, she worries about snoring. No, she means in session. I'd be interested in snoring too. Jackie, you'd like to snore? I can help you with that. I'm joking. Yeah, no, we can have a chat about that because I found some interesting facts about that. Really good. So you've got lots of things to look forward to, ladies. Stick around. It's day 5. Tomorrow we have another interview. We have another interview, and we might even get Farida on. We might even have 3 people in the room. Farida's story is amazing. She's like an angel. She's like become heavenly almost. She floats. So that's fantastic. And also, what time's the live tomorrow? We're going to have the live. It's not going to be as long, but there's going to be one short. And then Sunday, I'm going to reveal the prizes. Now, I know you're thinking, prizes? Was there prizes? I didn't even know there were prizes because it hasn't been the focus of our time together. I didn't want you to be here just for prizes. I did that last time. It's not good. I need you to be here because you wanted to be here. So someone is going to win one of these. It's our Self-Love Mastery Aligned program from abandonment to acceptance, from loneliness to loved, from invisible to invincibility, from grieving to grateful, from empty to empowered, to the divine within, aligned. Someone's going to win that. Someone's going to win a 2-hour hypnotherapy and life coaching session with me. Super, super powerful. That could change your life. I've got Riri Brown. If you are here today, don't forget you're coming to see me on Monday. Riri won this session last time on our last challenge, and she's really excited about that. Someone else is going to win one. So tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. It's going to be a short one, and then Sunday is when we're going to do the big reveal. But I'm going to put all this up in the group. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you to our gorgeous, wonderful, empowering, inspiring Natalie. And Def, need you to do my husband. I need you to do my husband though. Then
snoring.
About the snoring. Yeah, this is a big one. The snoring. This is a big one. You're going to love what I'm going to share with you. Well done, Natalie.
Thank you, ladies. I can see all the comments on the side.
I know it's been joyous. It's been absolutely joyous, and I can't wait to start doing our Express Yourself sessions. I think this is going to be really exciting, and everyone who is here will get an opportunity to join us in the studio. How much fun is that going to be? So that's it for today. You've been awesome. I've been Anne-Marie, and we will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. It's going to be a short one, but don't miss it, because many of those remedies that you were talking about we're going to cover. But most importantly, we're going to talk about the prizes. We're going to be revealing some of those things, and then we're going to wrap it all up on Sunday. So even though I said 5 days, I've given you 2 little extra ones because, in the words of L'Oreal, Natalie, in the words of L'Oreal,
I'm worth it.
Absolutely.
Worth it.
The hair a fling as well. Loved you all. Have a wonderful evening. It's still light enough to go outside and connect with nature, just as Farida's doing. And just be good to yourself, love yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow at 6. Mwah. Give him a kiss, Natalie. Yeah.